is of the essence. TikTok. No, not like the app. Insane, perfectly timed moments. Woo! Luck of the Irish or agility of a falcon? Which was it? Maybe a little bit of both? Yeah, write that down. Write that down. We are going to blow your mind today, so sit back. Top 5 gamers? Not sure why you'd be standing. Who watches TV standing up? And here goes code T5G in the item shop. Sellout complete, mission accomplished, onward and upward. Number 10. You ever have the zombies spawn at the perfect time? Messing with defaults is always a fun time, especially when they play along with you. This clip has a little bit of that mixed in with some incredible timing. So as you can see, we've got a couple of players emoting with the default they seem to have made friends with. But of course, that wouldn't be something we put in a top 5 gaming video if this was all we saw in this clip. Continuing to watch leads to some incredible timing, as after using the snowball emo on this guy, his teammate throws a sneaky snowman at him at the same time. But that's not even the perfect timing part, because this massive ice spike pops up and the default is nowhere to be seen. Instead, a huge ice zombie attack begins in just the best timing possible. I hope our poor default made it out okay, but he probably was shot into space after that spike popped out of the ground. Number 9. Oh my. Similarly to the last clip, it's always a good time when you can become friends with a random person in Fortnite just for a single match. Well, in this one, they have a bit of a laugh with some emotes before closing the gap between themselves in the game. After meeting up between their respective builds, the enemy drops an ice grenade at his feet. Then the player, of course, throws it down, sending himself and his opponent soaring backwards in opposite directions before falling off the side of the map. But considering the absolute legend that his opponent is, he jumps off the edge, rift to go in hand, and saves him with perfect timing. It's a real kind gesture, and it makes me especially jealous, especially considering the players I end up against are all soccer skins who one-pumped me after building a skyscraper in 10 seconds. Number 8. There's no way. Another popular game now under Epic's massive umbrella of stuff is Rocket League. And this next clip shows off a certain skill level that a Fortnite player can only ever hope to reach after playing a few years worth of that game. Going for a pretty standard launch with the quad crasher, the player skillfully boosts his way across the map. After seeing an enemy floating around with some balloons, our player becomes laser focused on taking him out of the skies. He sends himself toward that enemy and connects, instantly eliminating him. But unfortunately, they did not land the jump. Still though, the timing required to hit the player here is actually crazy, and I can't even imagine getting close to doing the same. And if you ask me, this takes way more skill than a Rocket League aerial. Number 7, the timing. Occasionally, some things we do just work out perfectly, whether that be a really well-timed emote with a friend or a really skillful trick in a vehicle. This next clip is pretty insane considering it has none of those things, what I just talked about, and instead, an incredibly well-timed emote. Shortly after starting the match, our player runs into a building along dirty docks and finds an enemy player searching a chest before quickly knocking them with his AR. Taking a few extra shots at his opponent after the knock, he brings them nice and low as he prepares to thirst them. Before game ending him, he does the ground pound and somehow manages to time it perfectly, and I mean perfectly, with the time of his landing. Low-key, this man is just out here pulling an Iron Man and eliminating the man with this power pose. Good on him for sure. Number 6. You ever celebrate with your teammate at the same time? We've got a pretty in-sync team for this next entry as these final circles rolled in on their match. The player we're watching duels it out in a Jedi lightsaber match before knocking them and moving in on the last player with his teammate. They immediately move in, rushing them with their lightsaber and his teammate blasting them with a shotgun to take them down for the win. Following that, he and his teammate capitalize on their in-sync plays by simultaneously doing the ring it on emote after securing the victory. My mental handcannon is that these players are complete strangers and in no way knew that each other had the emote, nor did they plan to do that after winning a game. Meh, even if not, it's still got some crazy timing to match emotes at the same time like this. Number 5, perfect timing for the boat. From this next entry, we've got another streamer, Courage JD, making the greatest escape I've ever seen in a match of Fortnite. After narrowly escaping a previous fight, Courage is super low on health and is attempting to escape through the water before getting run up on by another team. Building up in the water was not working at all. So as their boat floats up by Courage with incredible timing, manages to take the boat from right in front of them and drives off. Bobbing and weaving in and out of their shots, Courage somehow escapes out through the top of the dam. After After this, he sees a zip line and perfectly times his leap from the boat into catching the zip line, saving himself from taking any damage. Oh my god, it's just absurd how he managed to survive this and get saved with 2 perfectly timed moments in this one quick clip. If this were me, there's zero way I would have managed to time this anywhere near as flawlessly as Courage did. Number 4, when everybody starts to dance. It's a pretty reasonable thing to imagine you and a random syncing up to a dance every once in a while, but this clip does a little more than just that. After starting up a match, our player finds one of the airships to get up on and grab some loot. Pretty basic beginning for a match. As they get on top of the ship though, they hear a boogie bomb go off and then decide to investigate before finding a trio of players boogieing along. Rather than shooting them, our player decides to wait it out and try to signal to them that he meant no harm. Rather than it ending in fighting, it led to him and the soccer skin doing the deep end at the exact same time before the other 2 follow suit within a second or so after. It's moments like this in Fortnite that are just wholesome and incredible, but it's pretty unbelievable to think any soccer skin would partake in something like this. Number 3, the victory supply drop. Sometimes you're ahead in matches and you just want to go for a supply drop on Last Alive, and that's exactly what this player did. After missing a quick sniper shot on the guy, we see our player opt to let his teammates take shots and grab the drop instead. They gotta be trying to get that gold scar drop. Respect with the K. Of course, just as he manages to pop open the supply drop, his squad secures the win. It makes for quite the unusual visual as the package opens in slow-mo with the Victory Royale logo popping up on top of the screen. Epic! Honestly, it kind of made me want to see the animation for winning come out of the supply drop itself, as a win was gifted to this guy. I need to open more wins in my supply drop. Hopefully my RNG is half as good as this dude. But number 2, when you try to be sneaky but fail. Boys, sometimes you gotta play a bit more craftier than usual, especially when you don't have a weapon after drop. We've got quite the sneaky player here in this clip as he attempts to outsmart a default by dancing. Yes, that's right. After the default initially leaves him alone, we see them focus on another enemy quickly after eliminating them. Seeing their opening, our player scoops up a hunting rifle before the default notices, baiting the opponent back in with the best mate stance. After taking the hunting rifle, we see him switch over and take the shot before being hit with some instant karma as the default dances on him before one pumping him. The timing couldn't be more perfect for this player to go for a dance a split second sooner, and he would have surely gotten clipped by that hunting rifle shot. I guess a clip like this just goes to show how none of us should ever underestimate a default and try to play them for a fool. Honorable mentions. We're coming for our number 1 slot, so we just want to drop in a couple of honorable mentions. First off, we've got a clip that's pretty similar to the number 7 entry on this list, as again, we've got a Skull Ranger down and our player about to emote on them. This one must have taken some more precise timing because of just how long the hand signals emote went on. After cycling through all the animation, most of which actually looked pretty good with what the enemy Skull Ranger was doing as they attempted to crawl away. Of course, this ends with them being elimed as the emote ends pretty perfectly on time. I just don't get how these guys can do so well. Maybe I need to dance on some more people before thirsting them to see if I can get some perfectly timed clips myself. Before our second honorable mention on this list, sometimes things just work out the way you want them to. And that's exactly what happened to the player in this clip. After trying to fight for high ground in a pretty even fight, the player we're watching drops down low and decides to use his remote explosives to take down the build and his opponent. It becomes an incredible moment as when going in to fight, he throws a C4 at the same time as his opponent fires their RPG and manages to blow both explosives up and eliminate the last alive. The level of luck is truly incredible, but it kind of reminds me of how they finished off the Enchantress at the end of DC's Suicide Squad. Speaking of which, Harley Quinn's still in the item shop until the 17th, so be sure to use code T5G if you end up picking it up. Only if you're a real gamer though. And it's your number 1 spot, the Rocket Snipe combo. For a number 1 slot, we've got a pretty dirty clip with a duo teaming up against an opposing prickly patroller after failing to get their opponent to peek them for about 20 or so seconds. This duo comes up with a pretty legit strategy in coordinating their assault. Rather than just running at the opponent and building, they instead have their teammate rocket out the opposing build, and the player we're watching takes a picture-perfect shot at the moment the structure is destroyed. Slowing down the clip, there isn't even a frame where you see the prickly patroller on screen when he shoots the sniper, but he somehow manages to time it perfectly and lands the shot at the same time. If I were the opponent here, I would be on full tilt after being destroyed by a combo like this. But that's gonna wrap up our perfect timing moments. Hey, be sure you're using code T5G in that item shop. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and click the annotation on screen to check out our other video. We'll see you over there. Keep it right here on Top 5 Gaming. Baby. No, I can't keep that in there.